To Students Know Better podcast with Larry Lopez, everybody. And today is the very first episode of the year. I'm so excited. Let me tell you, all the time I'm just being here on this space, talking to students, talking with amazing industry partners. And you know that the purpose of this podcast is to highlight the success stories of our students, to talk about the wonderful placements from the Social Enterprise Hub that have been helping so many students to develop amazing employability skills, technical skills, and to really excel in their careers. We are the Hub, everybody, led by students for students. And I'm here today with an amazing co-host, Caroline Choconta Ramirez, everybody. Hi, Carol.
Hi, Larissa. How are you? I'm glad I'm here.
I'm very excited to have you here too. And Caroline, everybody, is working on the podcast with me this trimester. So the podcast has now it's a special project from the Social Enterprise Hub. And Caroline has been helping me as the social media specialist and the co-host as well. So she has been very helpful. And we also have another fantastic student called Misha, who is our video producer. What should I ask for? I shouldn't ask for anything else. And also, I work with an amazing team, purpose-driven team, experts. They are the brains behind everything we do in the Social Enterprise Hub. They are so talented. Caroline, do you agree with me?
I do, yes.
Amazing leaders. And I'm here with him, my manager, my leader, the Social Enterprise Hub manager, Peter Graves, everybody.
Where's the applause in the background? It should be,
the reaction.
Yes.
Morning, everyone. Morning, Larissa. Lovely to join you guys.
Thank you, Peter, for participating. And we are also here with her, Shirley Boon, everybody, our project coordinator. She's so talented. Well, she has amazing operational skills, software skills, leadership skills, and she has been a great asset for the Social Enterprise Hub. Everybody, Shirley.
She certainly makes me look good, Larissa.
I know, Peter. No, you are really good. To all of you together, it's an amazing team. Incredible.
I made my boss look good. That's what he's saying.
Yeah, you make me look good too, Larissa.
And I'm also here with Uria. Uria is also our volunteer with the Social Enterprise Hub. She's working as a project mentor with us this trimester for an amazing project, Learn, Grow, Become. She did so well last trimester that she's back now as a mentor. And everybody, she's in Japan, but I forget that she's in Japan because she's so proactive, so responsive, participative. Yuria Nishiwaki, everybody. Hi, Yuria.
Hi, great to see you again, Caroline, and everyone.
Thank you.
Great to have you here. Okay, Peter.
Hello.
My turn now to start having a chat with you. Peter, it's been an absolute pleasure to be able to work with you and to learn from you. I believe you're an amazing leader and you have lots of fantastic ideas every day, all the time. You're very skillful with stakeholder management as well. And you know everybody in South Australia. So all entrepreneurs and businesses in South Australia. So we are very good in terms of industry connections, everybody. So Peter, tell us a little bit about your career journey. I don't know. I checked your profile a little bit and it's very impressive, but on LinkedIn it's very impressive, but I would like to hear from you a little bit about your career journey, but more connected to your work with social enterprises or businesses as a consultant. Yes, Peter. How did you start and how did you decide to work for Torrens University?
Yeah, well, I suppose I did business at uni with a focus on people, so on HR. I suppose a lot of my work over the years is being related to people, and often that's kind of facilitating discussions with management teams in terms of how they work together, resolving issues, working with boards and stuff. So I suppose in terms of starting my consulting life, it goes back a couple of years now, as you can kind of well imagine, but I worked for an industry body as the general manager of the training function for the industry, and from that I got headhunted to set up a new national consulting business for ABL in Sydney. And after working with them for 3 years, I was given the opportunity with two of the other senior staff in our business unit to buy that business. And from that, we set up Strategen, which is a business advisory consulting business in kind of commercial, financial, commercialization of technologies and other intellectual property. And a lot of the stuff I did was around organisational development and change and leadership. After founding that company, it got quite big. We ended up with 6 directors and offices in Brisbane, Sydney, Adelaide and Singapore. And I decided I'd had enough. And so I stepped down as the managing director, and ultimately in 2019 I sold out of that business. So then I had a few different public sector roles for a bit around economic development, which is really about attracting business and building local business. And I was a client of Torrens University. And I engaged the university to undertake some research for me in my economic development role. And from that, it took some time to actually get the gig, but ultimately I was approached to lead the development of the social enterprise hub, which at that point in time, which is coming up to 3 years ago, was a bit of a vague idea, but the whole thing was around setting up a student-led consulting business, right? So over that 3-year period, it was me, and I was it, and incredibly hard work trying to understand how the university worked, the systems, the processes, the people. But now, I don't actually know how many staff we've got now, but I reckon we must be around just a bit under 20 staff. They're now, one way or another, connected to and working in the hub. They're not necessarily full-time, but they got different areas of expertise. And so one of the key roles we've got is lead consultants. And so they're kind of industry experts, which we either contract in from industry or they're actually staff with good industry skills. So I think we can already claim that we are the biggest provider of industry experience for business students in the university. And really, I feel like, and I'll shut up in a sec, Larissa, but I think for me, all my work over those many, many years has come together into a sweet spot, which is working at the university for Torrens in building, kind of being the chief architect of this new model through which we build student employability, industry experience, and through which we service purpose-driven enterprises.
Fantastic, Peter. And do you believe that your mission is to really make a positive impact on society, which includes entrepreneurs, students? Do you feel that it has been the best part of your role, for example, in the hub at Torrens?
Yeah, when I look back over some of the public sector roles that I had, I think I enjoyed them because they were kind of purpose-driven. They were actually bringing about change, generally in the community or the region. When I was working back in my consulting firm, I was working with accountants, lawyers, and people from a commercial investment background. I was, having built the business, I was kind of a bit of a square peg in a round hole, I reckon. And that's because I've always had a passion for people and bring about kind of positive change. And so for me, the hub is the sweet spot where we're making a difference in the lives of students. A lot of students come to Australia, often with rich experience in their home countries, but they have no connection to local industry. They don't understand the industry culture in Australia. So we're able to bridge that gap, and it's so exciting to see them transition and build their confidence to take on things that aren't necessarily known, and that requires a lot of exploration and kind of risk taking, to see them grow and then translate that into employment. And we've got lots of examples of that. But the other aspect of it, obviously, is the enterprises that we work with. So most of the enterprises we work with are kind of, in our jargon, are purpose-driven enterprises. So there's lots of different definitions of those. They could be charities, not-for-profit, social enterprises, but they can also be corporates that have a social agenda where they're trying to demonstrate their commitment to society and the environment, right? So that's kind of what drives me, and what I'm passionate about is making a difference in the lives of the students. And I think also in being kind of market facing is working with lots of really, really interesting organisations that are doing amazing things in society, from First Nations to climate change to health to education. So many different examples and so many rich stories that we get to be part of and share and support.
Peter, and I just want to reiterate what you said in terms of, yes, you're focused on what is the best for the students and also for the clients as well, but especially for the students. All the time when I share with you their success stories, or when one of our students seek employment, and when I share those things with you, I can see your excitement. I can see that you are genuinely happy for them. So, and this is something that I really admire about you, Peter, and Shirley as well, is because you do this job. Of course, we have to complete certain tasks for the university. We have to deliver some services for the clients, but it's about the students also to build a career they love, and get immense satisfaction on that. Yeah. Yes, Peter.
I also like making it fun as well, where I can.
Yes.
Sharing my lame jokes, is part of my mission as well. But kind of building a sense of, community and trust and support for each other, whether we're students or staff or clients. It's about creating a community.
Yes, Peter. And I'm here talking about community engagement, student-centric. Shirley Boon, everybody. Shirley is so skillful. I don't know, every time when I ask her a question, she knows everything about it. She has a master's degree, maybe 3 master's degrees. She got some awards when she was studying at university as well. She's very operational too, very strategic, analytical, very organized. I need to learn some of her organizational skills, Shirley. You need to share some tips with me. I'm here with Shirley Boon. Hi, Shirley.
Hi everyone. Good to be here. Good to hear from my boss as well. Definitely resonate with what he's saying. Yeah.
So Shirley, your career journey. Yes.
Your career journey. Okay.
Yes. Definitely. With the focus on community. Yes. Social enterprise hub. Yes. Please. Over to you, Shirley.
All right. Definitely, my years of in the workforce is much shorter than Peter, as you can see. But my background for pretty much past 20 years, I started with, really my passion is about people. That's the first word, and that's why we are here, right? It's about people. So my background, I did a lot of counseling, coaching, training, community development, organizing trips, mobilizing volunteers. I've done so many trips. I've been to so many countries, more than 12 countries, I think. speaking and doing different things. But that was before I moved to Australia. And then when I moved to Australia, I started with, I did my master's in project management. I also have a design background, by the way, a bit of everything. So, but also I did my master's in project management. So that's really, because I realized managing project is really essentially managing people as well, not just the paperwork, right? My background is, and I also studied graduate certificate in social innovation. Not only, if many of you may not know this word, social innovation basically means finding solutions or sustainable solutions to tackle wicked problems in a society. So that's really my passion. And I started off working in a local university when I was in Melbourne. And that really gave me a lot of opportunity to really learn the skills and also understand, the social problems. And sometimes those social problems can be complicated and complex. I was a project officer, so the project was really fun because the first project I did was really to embed the idea or the value of social innovation, this impact that we can make as whatever profession we are in, like, or, you have an engineer or lawyer or teacher, you can actually bring impact in the world. Not everybody have to be a social worker, right? So that's what I'm doing. I'm developing that whole curriculum. Basically, the project is to research how to embed that into their curriculum, so that they learn, so that everyone that graduated from the uni carry that DNA that we can make a difference in the world. So that's my first project, and I went my first job in Australia. And then after that, I worked in a social enterprise. I was a national project coordinator for one of the well-established social enterprises in Australia. Worked in that space and then learn a lot as well. And then I came into Torrens and I started with student services. Always have to put a foot in, and that was an open door for me. And then I also did mobility project. That's a project coordinator role. That's pretty much project management is what I'm doing, like I say, because these are relating to people. But in all my career journey, I always look for three things that is important when I apply for a job. Number one, these three things have to be in there, in the job scope. Number one is it has to relate to people. Secondly, it has to have something to do with technology because I love innovation. And finally, it has to drive impact.
Very passionate people. We are very passionate staff at Torrens University. We love what we do. And it's not a cliche, trust me. Yuria, do you agree with me that we love what we do, the Social Enterprise Hub team? Our volunteer, Social Enterprise volunteer and student.
Yes.
Caroline, would you agree with us?
Yes.
That we love what we do?
That's
and
why we're back.
Really hard, yes, in this department for us to deliver the best services to our clients and for us to help our students to build their careers in this amazing country that is Australia. Okay, Caroline, over to you, my amazing co-host, Bachelor of Business Marketing student. She's back this trimester work on this amazing project. Of course, it's amazing. It's our Social Enterprise Hub podcast. So, Carol, over to you.
Again, thank you for joining us in this podcast today. I would like to ask you that we would like to know more. I mean, Yuri and I, we know about this Social Enterprise Hub because this is our second trimester here, but we would like you to tell us more about the Social Enterprise Hub for the students that are coming in the next trimesters.
Yeah, Peter can take that.
Yeah, I'll start. You can fill in the gaps, Shirley. So we exist to create industry experiences for business students, right? And going back to what we were saying, it's a flat structure, and the reason I say that is that we are a student-led consulting agency, which means that students get actively involved in designing how we operate in the hub, in the coordinating of service delivery, and obviously for most students in delivering consultancy services as well. So what we do is we have a trimester by trimester recruitment campaign where students can register their interest with us, and poor Shirley is the one that looks after all the registrations and all the queries. But the idea is that we want to understand you as a student and what your interest is, also about what subject you're enrolling in. So then we can map you to one of our projects, which is relevant, meaningful, and it helps you to deliver the assessment outcome associated with the subject that you're in. So this trimester will have a bit over 160 students across 30 projects. And so we're picking up, postgraduate and undergraduate students. And what we do is we market to our clients 10 different service areas. Each service area is mapped to what different students are studying. So Caroline, for you, for example, Bachelor of Business Marketing, we have a service which is around marketing. But we also have at like a master's level, we have MBIS students, so the information systems students, and they can work on platform prototype development, they can work on data analytics, they can work on business requirements development for a client. So we get to do these amazing, really cool projects that are that give students lots of latitude to kind of create and present their ideas ultimately to the client. And most of our projects are long term. So in a trimester and in delivering an outcome to the client, then the next batch of students from that particular qualification will then build on the work from the prior trimester. So we try to build long-term relationships with the clients, and consistent quality is key to us having a sustainable client base. So that's why we put in this role in our jargon that we call a lead consultant, which I mentioned earlier, I think, didn't I? But who's either an academic, a staff member with strong industry expertise, or someone that will pinch from industry to take on that role, who oversights the work of the students. And the students work in teams. This varies a little bit for the bachelor, but generally teams of up to six students. And we make that lead consultant accountable for delivering the outcome to the client, but they're not doing all the work. That's for the students to do, but they're guiding the approach they're taking and helping to get feedback from the client during the journey to make sure they're on track, and will help put the pitch together at the end of the trimester to make sure that the end product delivered to the client is of sufficient quality and value back to that client, so that they want to continue with us. Yeah. What did you think, Caroline? Was that good enough? Shirley, you got anything you want to add?
Yep. I think I just want to add the value proposition for this. Why students are doing this is because we want them to have real industry experience, which Peter had talked about. And that because a lot of them, like international students, we know that they don't have local experience, and it's really important. And this is really a good platform, and this is really a good opportunity for them to at least, develop their employability skills, problem solving, team building. Because once you go into a team, Yuria, you will know, probably, Caroline, if you are in a group project, you know that you working in a team is not easy with different backgrounds, different, people, and also finding the right time. So there's so many things they can learn from this, this project. So that's why we offer this opportunity to students. Yeah.
And Shirley, I think building on that, what we're trying to do for students is to reduce the reliance on how well they've done in their studies, in their CV, to talk about the industry experience they've got, because ultimately that's what's going to get a student an interview. It's not simply about how well they've done their studies. That might open the door, you might get an interview, but if you can add to that your industry experience, because as Larissa always says, what is it, 75% of employers are looking for those employability skills, that industry experience.
Yeah.
They're not just going to rely on qualifications to determine who's going to be a good fit. The employability skills that we help you to develop are all about demonstrating to a prospective employer that you can hit the road running in your role, right? Often, like I've had lots and lots of students working in my company in different roles. And a good student was one that kind of got it and would come along for the ride. A not so good student would be one that you have to spend a lot of time convincing them about this is how they need to do it, without them telling me that they knew how to do it better. If that makes sense.
Yeah, and that happens in life. There is people that think that know more than others, and I think we are able to catch knowledge from everyone, even if you know. Thank you for the response. Yeah, I'm agree with you, and I think we, as students, and I talk about undergraduate students, we underestimate the important role of the social enterprise hub. Last trimester, when I started, I remember some other students just, chatting about, it was just another subject, but they don't see the long picture. They don't see that this is an opportunity. I'm here. I'm back here. This is my last trimester, and I have already opened so many doors, and I am applying for another internships to see, and they know that now I have experience. And it was so hard for me before because I didn't know, I knew the theory and I knew how the subjects work and I knew how to do a report, but the experience, the practice is another thing. And what we want to do with this podcast is to show other students the long picture, the advantages of this social enterprise hub. And
and we do have a lot of students that work with us before and in a project and landed in a job as well. So Peter has helped with a lot of them as well. Yeah, right, Peter? I don't know how many now, but we do have quite a lot of them. And more will come, I believe. Probably.
Yeah, and that's, Caroline, that's a really good point that you raised, because I think traditional study, and this is what the university is doing to revamp the way that students learn, is you can play it safe by being really good at reading and writing and preparing assignments and stuff like that. But ultimately, the test comes about whether you can actually apply that to a real world setting, And so what we're hoping that students do through the opportunities we create, that they're willing to take a risk, because you going into a project, and this is the reality of work, you don't have all the answers. And the annoying thing, you've got other people to work with. Wouldn't it be much easier if we could just work on our own? Actually, no, I take that back, Shirley and Larissa. But sometimes, to get a task done, I'm going to do it myself. But the reality is most, 99.9% of people are working with others, right?
Yeah.
And so your ability to influence and work with others, even if they really annoy you, or they're quite different in how they see the world, are skills for life. Yeah, and in part that's...
Peter? Yes, sorry, Peter, you go on. Sorry. Yes.
No, I'm just saying that's what we're seeking to simulate through our projects, is that real world context where things aren't easy, they're messy. You know what I mean?
Coping with uncertainty. Yes, Peter. Coping with uncertainty.
Correct.
We are working together. We want a positive outcome, the best outcome for our clients and for ourselves as well, in terms of employability, skills development. But it's still uncertain, yes, and we need to be able to manage that. And I loved a post that I think that you posted something on LinkedIn this week, Peter, about the main employability skills that employers want in the future for candidates, and one of them is coping with uncertainty.
Yeah.
It's adaptability. The other one, I think, is synthesizing messages. So there are some other skills and abilities that people don't talk much, but they are so important, and that our students can develop throughout their journey during placements with the hub. Definitely.
Good one.
Very true, Larissa.
So the next question is, and I think we have some clues about this question, but we would like to know something more specific. What is your role in the Social Enterprise Hub?
Yeah, this may sound quite jargony. Actually, a lot of what I say is jargony, but I'm kind of the chief architect of the hub and its design, its development, and kind of its scaling. So it's been a long journey. And look, people would say, oh, it's only 3 years, but starting out on your own and really, without saying too much, actually having the wrong reporting line for starters. It's only really in the last kind of 18 months that we've really started to get some good traction and build the good team. So really my responsibility is to scale the operations. Well, it's actually about building the consulting business, right? And what's interesting, and I've just been writing a paper on it this morning, is helping everyone to understand the language of what it means for a student to work in the consulting agency as a consultant, as distinct from a bit like what you said, Caroline. I've got another subject to do, and it's got a project to do. No. You are coming to work in the hub. The hub is the employer. You said this the other day, Larissa. This is your job. I remember you saying, so we are creating the virtual environment, which is all about you delivering a consultancy outcome, right? And so it's a bit of a head switch for students to think, okay, I know that I've got to doing a subject, I know there's assessment, but there's this project as well. But ultimately what we're trying to do is to build the disciplines of working in a professional consulting capacity. So my role is really building that model, that language, and then oversighting the amazing team that contributes to that. And I think key for me has been, sometimes in the early days, some senior managers say, no one knows what you do, Peter. And they're probably right. And it's probably, I'm not sure I know what I'm doing either in reality. But what we've done very successfully over the 18 months is build a significant ecosystem, which is of both staff, clients, and students. And so everyone understanding the opportunities we're creating and how they can contribute to that opportunities in delivering the outcomes to students, a great experience for the students, a positive outcome, a valuable contribution to our clients, is all key to what we're on about. And I think just last thing, sorry, but we're rewriting curriculum, right? So that's what rewriting that curriculum and creating far greater emphasis on employability and industry experience. That's where our numbers will continue to grow significantly in terms of the numbers of students that are needing projects and coming into the hub. Yeah.
Yep. So for me, anything that's like what Peter has shared, obviously you need, someone else to look after the other operations. So that's what everything else that will be me. So I develop the business systems to make sure we optimize the workflow, the experience, the student experience, the performance, and also make sure that we improve the workflow as well. So I look after the comms as well, and then also the operations day-to-day, responding to students. And basically everything else, like Peter look at the big picture, as you can hear, what he says, a lot of work. And then whatever he needs to get done, I'll try to think of a solution and suggest to him, and we just work on that together. So it is very dynamic space. It is not a very boring, fixed operational job. It is a lot of challenge, it's a lot of troubleshooting, but that's what I like. So, and I enjoy my role a lot. Yeah.
Thank you. I think you already answered the next question, which is, do you love what you do?
Pretty obvious at this point from both of us.
Sometimes I don't. There's too many balls in the air and too many things happening. But I think that's been the story of my life, is I've always had too many balls in the air, because I've got so many great ideas. All you need to do is ask me. And poor Shirley, she's an idea creator as well, but I've got my fair share as well. But I think I've often, the focus of my roles has always been about making things work or coming up with new ideas and implementing them or making things work better. So I get bored very easily. I can't say I ever get bored in this role because it's very dynamic, you know, the space in terms of how we're building. And yeah, lots of moving parts. So it's not a perfect model, and it kind of, as we were saying before, it never will be a perfect model, in part because it involves people, but there's lots of bits that we don't necessarily control. You know, students change their mind, you know, clients change their mind.
Policies change, yes, Peter. Policies, regulations change.
Yeah.
And Peter always tell me we are living at the age of chaos, so that's true.
Exactly.
And that's why we like, because of the nature of who we are, and yeah, love the challenges as well.
No, I firmly believe, Shirley and Peter, that you are doing an incredible job. Even if you feel that you are navigating, working under chaos, a chaotic situation, but I think that definitely you are making everything less chaotic, 100%, and smoother. That's how I feel working in the hub. I don't see that chaos much, and I know that it's because of the wonderful job and skills, Shirley, Peter, that you have. Caroline, my co-host, what an amazing job. That was fantastic. But Peter, Shirley, I've got another amazing social enterprise volunteer and project mentor, Bachelor of Business student, who has a question as well for you, Peter, and for Shirley. Yuri Anishiwaki, everybody, directly from Japan.
I hope it's not a hard question, Yuri.
So, so could you share some success stories in like social enterprise hub and then other success stories as well?
When I think about students, I think about those that have been probably on the journey for some time with us in the early days when we were still very much working out how the heck are we going to do this, and they persevered. They've stayed close, and in staying close, they've actually got into, they've secured, you know, a job in their career path, you know. So, and some of those are coming to work for us in the university, you know, that's their progression. But lots of them have got jobs in industry as well. You know, I think of Kevin, I've forgotten Kevin's surname, but he was an MBIS student that worked on an app development for Rate My Clinic. Now he was like a service manager in one of the major hotel chains in Sydney. Probably not the right title, but close enough. He, through his work with the client Paul Hedges, he was able to secure a gig at that hotel chain in IT management. So, you know, that's a great example of how we've helped. We don't make those things happen. Those students still need to make those things happen, but we can help join the dots and make the connections. I think over the last 6 months, we probably have created 20 jobs for students, I think, but there's a lot more out there and we won't necessarily know about it. But Anastasia, who I've got a feel is, she's a Bachelor of Business Marketing student as well.
Yes,
Larissa?
Yeah. Yes, she is. Yes.
So she recently got a gig with one of our long-term clients in doing some video production. Now that's not a permanent gig, but it's a fixed number of, and it's often that is the next stepping stone. It's not about, well, how come I don't get to be CEO? I've finished my studies. Why shouldn't I be the CEO? Well, it's kind of like, it's kind of got to start at the basics, right? Do the hard yards. But and this won't be her ultimate dream job, but man, does that create a really compelling story in her CV. Yeah. When I think about clients, I in terms of their success stories, there's huge numbers of, you know, it's not that we've made them successful, but it's amazing to have the opportunity to be associated with their work. So there's organisations like in Melbourne, which is Fruit to Work, and their sister organisation Recycle for Change. They support people who have been incarcerated in jail into employment. Fruit to Work provides corporate fruit, milk, coffee and other condiments, right, to corporates in Melbourne, Geelong. So they create jobs for, I don't know how many they're up to, 50 or 60 now. The sister organisation they've created, Recycle for Change, is part of the introduction by the Victorian government into the 10-cent deposits on cans and bottles. So, and they're similarly supporting people that have been incarcerated. But we get the opportunity to build their prototype platform to manage the whole operations. So last trimester, T3, we had 400 students work on the business requirements, and now we've got a consulting project in the hub, specifically about building the first version of the prototype. Can I keep going, or do you want to shut me up, Larissa?
Keep going, Peter, keep going. No problem at all.
Another one, which is more a personal one, but when I was a regional director, I got this lame idea presented by the local land care group that they thought that the area was so dark that they should go for international accreditation as a dark sky reserve, right? What the heck does that mean? Why would you do that? And, you know, as lame an idea as it was, they thought, coming to me, I said, I reckon that's a fantastic idea. And in effect, they've achieved international recognition as a dark place because there's so much light pollution around the world that being able to see the stars, right, at night time for more and more people is, you know, not a reality. So they had to go around the whole region, and it's a huge region, gathering light data to demonstrate, and that's why they picked up the name 20.9 out of 21. You know, it's very close to being pitch dark, right? They've got international coverage now. They've got national coverage, and we are now working with them on building the business case, in identifying the technical business requirements for their new observatory and planetarium that's going to be built. Funders have already invested or made a commitment to invest, and so we've got project management, design and MBA students and engineering students working collectively on how to bring this idea into a more concrete concept, which we will be then pitching to government. And the last one is Viva Mutual, which is something also that I helped set up in a prior role. But 3 years ago, they started with two workers providing disability and aged care support services right to the community. They've now got over 150 staff, and we've had lots of students do placement there, get jobs there. We're also conducting research projects, which is very much around the business model, the workforce model that they use as a compelling difference in the marketplace. So there's squillions of stories that are like that, and it's just great to be involved. Bilby XR Labs is building an Indigiverse, which is an Aboriginal representation of the land across 50 different communities across Australia, and identifying all the different artefacts that represent that association between Aboriginal people and their use of that land, and whether that's farming implements, housing implements, weapons, or whatever it may be. And so we've had our design students, and now we've got all our data analytics students looking at all that data and how it's to be structured as they continue to build the Indigiverse, which ultimately is about helping Aboriginal communities to explain their association, their relationship to the land as part of claims for that land to governments of Australia. Anyway, that's three.
Wow. Caroline, can you imagine? Wow, so many contributions that they have, and even Peter, with the help of Peter and Shirley, they have been able to help those organizations to make, and our students as well, of course. That's why. Peter
Hopefully,
Grace,
the next
Shirley Boon, Caroline, and Uria. Okay, Carol, you go.
hopefully the next successful stories for the future volunteers are Julia and myself.
Yes, no, I have no doubt about it. You are already a success, Carol and Uria. Definitely amazing skills, talent, proactivity, commitment, personality. Amazing. You are the winners already, Carol and Uria. And we are
Thank
together,
you.
yes, on this journey as a great team. Okay, everybody, this is the end of our podcast episode. Oh, amazing episode, actually. I've learned so much from Peter and Shirley. Today, I learn every day, to be honest. But today I got to know a little bit about their background and all those things that they have done throughout their lives and throughout their careers as well. And that's why, everybody, we are the Social Enterprise Hub, led by students to benefit your organization and to make a positive impact in society. So thank you so much, Peter, Shirley, my co-host today, Caroline, Yuri, our project mentor, and see you in our next episode, everybody. We are the Hub. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.